Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a little bit of a mixture of things. We're going to start off with some trophy highlights and then we're going to talk about EW's latest survey and just a couple of other things as well. Now, as you will have just seen, we did just spot a level 5 Blacktail deer, and as I was scanning around, you'll have also just got to see one of the newer bugs that came into the game with the latest update, which is where the ducks basically look like they're coming into land, and they kind of hover above the water and off of the water, sort of on the land. It's a very, very, very strange bug, and that was one of my first times actually encountering it. So yeah, that's why I was looking over at those ducks, because I was trying to work out what they were doing, and then I remembered that that is a bit of a bug at the moment. But now we're going to drop this Blacktail with the brand new 308, and as you can see, no problems at all. Again, the 308 performing really, really well, and absolutely dropping that Blacktail on the spot. Now, I wasn't sure if this guy was actually going to make diamond, as normally this smaller rack, I've had quite a few actually troll with this rack, so I wasn't sure if he would make it, so picking him up, and he is actually a diamond at 181.90, which I think is probably one of the best scores I've had for this particular rack for Blacktail. I much prefer the bigger rack for these guys on the diamonds, but even the smaller rack ones still look really impressive, and I was really happy to get another diamond kill with that 308. I absolutely love the 308, it is such a fantastic gun, and yeah, you don't see an awful lot of level 5 Blacktail, so I was happy to find this guy. I was actually looking for more rare Roosevelt elk, but I'll always take finding nice big diamond animals like this, and like I said, I think that was probably the highest score I've ever had on this particular rack, so I'll probably find somewhere to put him in one of my trophy lodges. A really, really beautiful animal to take down with that brand new 308. Now, again, I was running around in this area looking for rare Roosevelt elk, also seeing if there was any decent ducks here, and again, you can see that weird bug with some of the mallards. And I came around this corner, and before I even spotted it, I knew exactly what that was. As soon as the highlight came up over that moose, I knew that that was a level 5. No mistaking the size of that rack. What an incredible looking animal. I know that, you know, diamond moose aren't the rarest diamond in the game. They seem to crop up relatively often, but they are by far one of the most impressive ones to come across. Level 5 moose just always looks so, so cool. And I really particularly like these ones that have the really big brows. There's just something about that that looks really awesome, especially from the side profile. Those really big brows really add to that rack. I think it looks really cool. Now, we're actually going to try and take this guy out with the 308. And, of course, the 308 is a little bit underpowered for a moose. It is an ethical caliber for the moose in this game, but it is a little bit on the lower power end for something that you want to shoot moose with. Normally, I would shoot a moose with the 300 or the 338, something along those lines. But I really wanted to see how well the 308 would perform against a moose, because I've never attempted to shoot any moose with the 308, so I figured that this would be a pretty perfect opportunity to test it. And also just the difference there between that level 2 and this level 5, just such a huge, huge difference. Now, I'm just making my way slowly towards this guy just to make sure I've got a nice and close shot, because again, it is a little bit underpowered for something like a moose, or at least I thought it would be. So I thought that, you know, let's get a nice close shot and give it every opportunity. So he's going attentive there, so I figured we would be plenty close enough, and I'm going to keep it nice and behind that shoulder blade and take a shot. And he starts to run off, and after not very long his health starts to drop, and I was actually really impressed at how quickly his health started to drop there. I expected it to take a little bit longer than that actually, so I was really impressed already with how that performed. And actually the distance to go and actually pick this guy up really wasn't very far. He didn't get very far at all from that shot, so I was really, really pleased about that. And this guy landed in such a nice position that I just had to take a couple of screenshots, because yeah, that rack just looks incredible. Such a beautiful moose. But let's pick him up and we'll see just how well the 308 actually did. Just trying to get a nice background here so that we can get a nice clean look at everything. And his fur sort of ends up being the nicest dark background. So he is a diamond at 279.50, so a nice sized diamond moose. And the 308 actually got double lung. That really surprised me. Double lung on a moose with the 308. Now, I did keep that shot well behind the shoulder blade, and it's also quite high in the lung, which the lungs are sort of closer together at the top, so it does have a better chance at getting through to that second lung. But even still, I'm quite impressed that the 308 did actually manage that. It just shows how powerful the 308 actually is. Really impressed with that, and I wouldn't hesitate to take another diamond moose with the 308. If that had been a super rare moose or anything like that, I'd have no hesitation at all trying to take it with the 308. That's a really good amount of penetration on an animal this size, because the 308 is classed as 4 to 8, so this is its maximum class that it can take. And it's done a really fantastic job. I was very impressed with that. And yeah, I was just really happy to get another level 5 moose. Now, I did mention that I was also keeping an eye out on the ducks, just in case there was any level 3s, and I ended up finding this guy. This is the old, what would have been called common plumage type for the mallards, and of course he is a level 3. I was kind of hoping that I might find some uncommon level 3s, maybe some piebalds or some brown hybrids, just because they'd look cool in the lodge, and I've seen a lot posted recently. But this is, as I said, just a common, or would have been called a common in the past. And before I even got to take a shot at this guy, these ducks ended up taking off, which meant I then had to try and hit him out of the air, and what I had on me was the AR-22. So I had to try and get this guy out of the air with the AR-22, which I was kind of nervous about. But finally, I did actually manage to get him, and as you will have seen, he just dropped there. I was really happy I managed that. I'm not a great shot when it comes to flying away ducks. I really quite often miss them off the water as well, to be honest. But managed to get this guy, and he is a diamond at 20.40. And yeah, they're called black-brown now, but in the past this would have just been called common. So not the uncommon diamond that I was looking for, but it is another diamond to put into a trophy lodge. Cannot complain at that, and like I said, I was really happy that I managed to actually make that shot. On to the final clip now, and we're heading over to Mississippi, where, as I said, we have the final trophy highlight, and we have a little bit of a discussion to go along with it as well. So when Mississippi released, a lot of things changed, and one of the things that seems to have been adjusted through a lot of different animal species in the game is fur type rarities. Some fur types have become a lot more common, such as black-brown springbok and brown Cape buffalo, and some have become a lot rarer, such as blue bobcats. And there is one other example that has become, in my eyes, a lot rarer, and that is the pink hogs, or pink pigs, whichever you want to call them. And I have, since Mississippi, only come into contact with 2 pink hogs. I found the track of one not long after Mississippi released, and I didn't actually bother to track it down because at that point I didn't realise that they had become a rare. And then this appeared the other day while I was on Mississippi in a group of hogs. Now, I have been hunting hogs pretty hard since Mississippi released. They got a model update when Mississippi released, because the ones that were on Te Awara are effectively the same animal. They have the same fur types, the same models now, they have everything the same. But when they were on just Te Awara, they didn't really look that good. But with the Mississippi update, they got an update to the model and they look an awful lot better. And I've been hunting them pretty hard, as I said, checking all the tracks, looking for albinos, and checking every herd just in case there's level 5s. And this is the first pink pig I have actually seen. As I said, I picked up the track of one, and then I have seen this one. So in total, I've only sort of noticed 2. And I've been picking up lots and lots of tracks, like hundreds of tracks, and looking at hundreds of individuals. So I am now convinced that pink wild hogs are a rare. So I was kind of looking at this and I was debating whether to taxi it or not, because these used to basically be a common with the ones on Te Awara. And even the times I've been on Te Awara, I haven't noticed I don't think I've actually seen a pink one amongst them. So I'd really be interested to hear if you have been seeing more of these than I have, because I just haven't been seeing them. So I am actually going to end up taxiing this pig. And like I said, I discussed it in the Discord and with a couple of other people, and it does seem that these are a rare now. And I really would be interested to hear if anyone's been hunting on Te Awara and hunting, that specific variety of the pigs, if there's a difference between the two populations, because I believe those ones on Te Arawara are called feral pigs, and the ones here on Mississippi are called wild hogs. But like I said, they're exactly the same with their rare fur types, their diamond requirement, everything's the same about them, so I wouldn't see that there would be any difference, but if there is, it would be really interesting. So please do let me know down in the comments what your experiences have been with finding pink wild hogs or feral pigs since Mississippi released. I will definitely be really interested to hear, because like I said, I have only found the tracks of one individual and actually seen another individual, so 2 in total. So I definitely think they're rare, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. But moving on, and we're going to talk about a couple of other things now. So like I said, there is a bit of a bug with the waterfowl since the latest update. I've noticed it with more than just the mallards, I've noticed it with cinnamon teal as well, where they do that weird flying animation, so that's a bit of an unfortunate thing with the latest update. But something quite cool with the latest update, here on Mississippi, as was mentioned in the patch notes, there are now transport sites, which you'll notice the transport sites because you'll notice that there will be boats, one either side of the water that you're trying to cross, and you just interact with them and you get zipped across to the other point where the other boat is. And this is a really, really fantastic thing. I'm really happy that they did add this. This is the location where I found this one, and I'm really happy they put one here, because I quite often want to cross over to that island, and it is a pain to have to run all the way around to where you can actually cross. So I'm really happy to see that. In general, from everything I've heard in the various Discords, in the Facebook group and everything, it does seem that very few new bugs were actually introduced with the latest update, which is of course really, really positive to see. But moving on to sort of the next topic, and we're going to be talking about the survey that Call of the Wild put out the other day. So this was the post that was put up in the Discord, as you can see, the Hunter official server, and the survey was very interesting. I don't have a lot of screenshots of what was in the survey because this was an awfully long survey, so I'm going to talk about it, and I will link it in the description of this video so that you guys can go and check it out yourselves, fill it in if you feel so inclined. But let's just talk about what the contents of that survey were. So of course it starts off with your normal standard questions, how old are you, etc, etc. And then very quickly it moves on to talking about sort of interests in outdoor activities other than hunting. Are you interested in hiking, fishing, canoeing, lots of different things? And I was thinking, okay, where's this going? And then it starts asking how would we feel about DLCs for different things to do with, like I said, fishing, kayaking, climbing, stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with the game, with a hunting game. Now, I've been seeing people ask for fishing and stuff in this game for the longest time, and it just really, really concerns me, because I think if something like fishing was to be added to this game, that it could possibly be game-breaking. It's not unknown that Call of the Wild has bugs, and it has had quite the history of bugs. And I think adding fishing with a whole set of new mechanics and everything, it could just cause so many problems. And I'm just very, very concerned by that latest survey, honestly. There was, questions about how would we feel about certain names for different DLCs relating to those activities. And I was really kind of disheartened by this, because I was kind of hoping that maybe they were talking about adding fishing into a new game. And if they were making a whole new game, that would be really cool. But in my opinion, they really need to focus on improving Call of the Wild for what it is. For example, give us more great ones. We only have 2 for all of the species that we have. There's only 2 species that have great ones. Give us a new trophy lodge, a bigger, more customizable trophy lodge, which, we've been waiting on for a long, long time. Give us the ability to search for trophies in our trophy manager. We don't have that. There's so much that could be done to make Call of the Wild an even better game than it already is, that doesn't need camping DLCs or kayaking DLCs or a fishing DLC. It very, 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 very much concerns me. I didn't even go through, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even answer every question on the survey. In the end, I just ended up clicking off of it, because all of my answers were just basically, no, don't do this. I don't want to see a DLC for this. I'd rather see a DLC new trophy lodge and DLC new weapons and everything that we've all been asking for a long time. I don't want them to try and turn Call of the Wild into open country 2, where you have to camp and do different survival activities and just not make the game what it already is. It needs, in my opinion, just to be made better and better at what it actually is, rather than trying to add more to it. And potentially, you know, if they add more content to it, that's going to bring along bugs. Doing that, that's going to happen. There will be bugs no matter what. It happens with all new games and new content and stuff like that. But then they've got to go through and fix those bugs, and then what about the bugs that were already in the game? And yeah, it just really, really concerns me. Like I said, I couldn't really take screenshots to post in this video, just because there was so many questions. So I really do recommend you guys go and have a look through, and of course answer it, as I said, if you feel so inclined. I just couldn't, in the end, put answers for a lot of it, because it really didn't click with me. And I know I'm not the only one who had that response. I know at least a couple of other people that just couldn't answer the survey because it was just not what we were expecting, and it just didn't feel right for Call of the Wild, for a Call of the Wild survey. It would have been so much better to hear about, would you like to see a new trophy lodge, would you like to see this kind of DLC for more hunting equipment, this and that. But just, yeah, it was very, very concerning is all I can say. And I really, really hope they don't go down the route of adding camping, hiking, fishing, and everything like that. I don't think that will be a good move. I really don't. If they make a new game, like I said, and call it The Outdoorsman or something like that, and then add fishing, camping, hiking, and put hunting in it, then yeah. But I don't think that is the move for Call of the Wild. I really, really don't. I just am very, very concerned about what that could actually mean for the game. And that is, as I said, it's just my personal opinion. You guys might have a completely different feeling. You might really, really want to see fishing, or, you know, these other outdoor activities that were mentioned. You might really want to see them in Call of the Wild, and, you know, that might be something you really hope for. But I just don't like that idea at all, personally. I just want them to add new reserves, add new species, new trophy lodges, make already existing systems like the trophy manager better and more streamlined. Remove some of the bugs that happen, unfortunately, and, you know, just try and make Call of the Wild better for what it already is. And that's just how I feel that I would like things done, honestly. So yeah, really interesting seeing what that survey is going to be all about. And they said in the Discord, we're not going to tell you what it's for, but we're interested to see your answers to that survey. But I think it was quite obvious that they were talking about adding different things to the game, just based off of the fact that it was asking us whether we liked certain names for the DLCs. So it would give you, I think it was like 5 or 6 different names for each DLC, and then you had to rank them from best to worst and give reasons why one name was your favourite and one name was your least favourite. And to me, that is quite obvious that they're talking about adding different things to the game. And because if it was going to be a completely separate game, I don't think it would talk about DLCs the way it did. I don't know. It's just I'm interested and hopeful that maybe they are thinking of making a different game. And if they did make a different game, I'd definitely play it and see how it went. But like I said, I think with Call of the Wild, with its already existing mechanics, I think it would be difficult to implement something like fishing, just because of how, like I said, how much would have to change, how, you know, interaction with water, how the character interacts with water, that would have to change. Then you're going to have different animations for reeling fish in, you're going to have different mechanics for harvesting fish, all that kind of thing that is going to have to be added. And I would rather see Africa 2.0, I'd rather see Australia and all these other different maps that are such fantastic ideas and could really, really make this game really incredible and just add to it. And I'd much rather see that over something that could potentially harm the game if it doesn't turn out right. So that's just my opinion, and throughout me giving my opinion, you will have just seen me shoot this. That is a troll legendary water buffalo. Unfortunate that he didn't make it. I thought he looked pretty big when I initially saw him, but when I did actually get him on the ground, I didn't think he was going to make it, and unfortunately he was too small. I was originally going to try and take him out with the red dot sight, just for something fun, but when he ended up spooking, I did end up just using the normal Argus scope. So, got him down anyway, and at least that's another max level animal down. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for, as always, for everything you guys do, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.